While till Vaishnav joins in, I wish to just talk about the project that you all have to submit after today's session. So we would be going off for 7 days, and the website that you all would be completing, right? So you guys will have around 7 days to complete the website. I wish to know if 7 days is enough in the chat bot or chat box, or if you guys want more time to complete the same. There would be an event created on Meetup, and you would have to RSVP the same. And on the day of the submission, you would be notified, whereby you send us the project. The top two best portfolios would be selected, and you would get to be interviewed if you wish. If you want, you can join a front-end web dev mock interview by Neha Sharma. So that's optional. So if you are interested in further going through like an interview process, then she is willing to train you all for the same. Apart from that, if there are any, I guess a lot of details have already been shared. So if there are any questions from your side, I wish to take them up. Please know that it would be mandatory for those who have attended for a long duration, and for those who actually wish to go through this mock interview. It would be important for you to do the project, without which I would not be able to put you across through the next levels. Obviously, I also want I want your input if we have to go ahead with a design thinking workshop, or the digital marketing one, which was asked previously, although it's not mandatory. But if you all still have the bandwidth and energy, or if you all want it after the project completion, maybe next month, another boot camp on a different topic or something like that, then we're very willing to do that. Thank you for the count. I wasn't expecting this much, because obviously we've changed the time, and also as I said before, we've had like a 2-day holiday, so I was expecting some amount of inertia, but still the turnout is pretty decent for a virtual session. So thank you. In fact, most of these are like the consistent ones. So thank you again. Without much ado, I wish to introduce our speaker, Shreyan. He is a coder, an innovator, and an entrepreneur. Today, he would be teaching how to host a website. So all these days we've learned how to make one. Now let's see how to put one on the internet. Shreyan, thank you so much for accepting the invite at such a short notice. We are truly honored to have you. To the attendees, Shreyan is from GDG Ahmedabad, and he would be obviously teaching us the session today. He'll be guiding us with the session. So without much ado, over to you, Shreyan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dikshita, for having me here. Firstly, am I audible enough?
Yeah, you're audible, but maybe you could be a little louder, I guess, if that's possible. Yeah, a little louder. Or is it only me who?
Is it better?
This is better. Yeah, this is perfect.
All right. Okay. So thank you so much for having me. And so is Vaishnav here, or should we start?
No, we can start. I have started the recording from my end, and Vaishnav would join in, and he would also start recording from his end. So just in case, but we can get started.
All right, awesome. I'll just start the presentation. I'll share my screen.
Yes. Also, sorry to interrupt. Just a quick to the attendees. Today's session is going to be recorded. But because the time has changed, so maybe some of them are not attending during this particular time slot, because of which only this particular session is being recorded. So this is just in case, like if you have your videos on, or if you don't want your videos to be on, just know that this session can go on YouTube. So choose your audio video preferences accordingly. Same with asking your doubts, your questions. Please ensure that you are aware that this session is being recorded, and make your preferences accordingly. Yeah, that's all. Over to you, Shreyan.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll start once the presentation is here. So I created few slides. It's not much. Is it visible properly?
Yes, the screen is visible.
All right, great. So basically, this session is for web hosting, and I will make sure that we keep it as basic as possible without any prerequisite knowledge. I'll assume that you know nothing about it, and we'll go with that point. All right. So I have prepared few slides, not much. So this would be kind of the flow, how the session will go. Like first 5 minutes, like we had a little bit introduction, and then what is web hosting. Like then we'll have some hands-on. Then we'll go for FAQ if there's some questions, and then we will conclude. So this is some planning that we have right now. So yeah, as Dikshita introduced, so basically I'm a like full stack developer, and I'm also into AI, and yeah, pretty much it. So that's a little bit about me. And in the presentation, you can check the handlers where you can connect me if you have some query after the session or something like that. Yeah, so some boring text ahead, but that's important. So what is web hosting in layman's language? So before we start to learn anything new, we all need to get on the same table that what are we learning and why are we learning. So what is web hosting and why? So like in the simplest definition, like web hosting is basically right now you all have gone through a bootcamp and you have created some basic, I assume some basic bootstrap pages and basic CSS HTML thing. So now it is there, it is sitting in your PC, right? Now what we want is we want to put it online so that you could access it remotely or you could share it with your friends, right? So basically to host it, just like how we host a party, it's similarly like that we host a web. So it's an old term. Now we host many things, not just websites. We also host small chunks of it also. So there are many things we host, but this is an old term which broadly says that there is some content. It could be a website, it could be services for other website, it could be some APIs, it could be some online databases, something like that. But broadly, it is the files that we host on some other person's computer, just like cloud. So it's not your computer, it's someone else's computer, which is sitting somewhere outside in the world where you can access it directly if you have an internet connection. So as simple as it could be, it is called web hosting, right? So, and yeah, of course, the sites that will show, it is not sponsored by them, obviously. So let's get hands-on. Before we go into that, I would like to tell you few more things about it. So I would like to throw some lights on domain, hosting, FTP, and DNS, because that are the things that you will need to look into, and you will see it around the places, you know, whichever website we go right now, you will see that across the websites. So I will just give you a few clues about it. So let's start from domain. So most of you will be knowing what a domain is, but I will just quickly revise it. So domain is nothing but a name or a collection of letters due to which we could map it to a physical address. So why is it required? Because just for example, we all have phone numbers, right? But in phone book we store it with a name, because names like humans could remember collection of alphabets or alphanumericals easily. Like I could remember the list of names here in just one glance. Like I can know there's Devansh Mehta, there is like Shivam, and there is Mansi Ji. I can see some names. I could remember that easily. But numbers I couldn't remember. Even if they are flashing on a big screen, I couldn't remember. So domain is just a name which is unique. So if I say google.com, then it is unique. And if we type that on the address bar, it will point to a unique place, right? So that is basic of what is domain and why we need it. So next come is what we know as DNS, that is domain name server. So domain name server, or in the hands-on, you will also see things like or words like name servers, right? So domain name servers or name servers are pretty much similar things. So as name suggests, that domain name server. So a server which is used for storing domain names or just simple names, name server or domain name server. That is what it sounds like. So basically how simple routing works is that you buy a domain from some place, I mean not from your local market. By some place I mean a domain registrar, right, which is monitored by a like institute or some place called ICNN. So it's a domain registrar from where you can buy a domain, right? So if I want to purchase a domain called shreyan.dev, which I already have, so I want to purchase the domain. So I could go to a website called GoDaddy, or I could go to a website called BigRock or Google Domains. From them, from that or other like Namecheap or something like that, I could go there. I could search if the domain I'm looking for is available or not. Then I could add it to my cart. Like it's like pretty much like an e-commerce thing. We add it to a cart, we add in our cart details, and we buy it and check out. So it's done. So from a domain name registrar, we buy a domain, right? So now domain is there. So now what? So if I purchase Shreya.dev, would that mean if I write it Shreya, if I go to my Chrome's Omnibox or the basically the bar where we write the URLs or where we do Google search. So if I go there and if I type Shreyan.dev, would it be visible? Like would it have something? No, because it's just a reference. That it's like a nameplate that you have buy, right? It's your nameplate, but you still need to build your house, right? You it's like you did your registration. So that is a domain. Other thing, we'll buy a hosting and we'll tie them together, right? So there are various types of hostings available out in market. So most common ones are Linux shared hosting. Then there are many hostings that is specialized in some certain kinds of CMS, that is WordPress, Joomla, and all that thing. If you don't know that, so you don't need to worry. I will explain a little bit of everything. I'll try to keep it as basic as possible. So Linux shared hosting. So basically, a normal host, like hosting website, is expensive, right? You need to buy. There's a like physical like server slot kept somewhere, like in Ireland or somewhere. So it needs maintenance. It needs electricity. It needs internet. Basically, it needs hardware and support. So it's expensive. So Linux shared hosting is a very old school type of like 1990s and early 2000. It is used since then. So what it does is basically it's like a college PC, right? Your college PC would have multiple accounts and multiple people use it. So it's similar to that. That a Linux shared hosting would be a server slot which would have something like 10 TB or something like that, some decent specs, and then they will divide that space into chunks and would lend it over. So that is something called Linux shared hosting. So today we'll work with Linux shared hosting. So just to keep that in scope. There are other types of hosting, like I said, specialized hostings for WordPress, Joomla, etc. If you don't know what is WordPress, then it's fine. It is out of scope for today. Then we also have dedicated hosting, right? So what that means is that complete server slot is dedicated to you, right? That complete chunk, all the RAM, all the hard disk or SSD, all that stuff that is dedicated to you, right? So if you use it or not, you need to pay for that upfront, right? So that is a dedicated like hosting service. There are many others also, and recently industry has moved into cloud. We go into AWS, we go into Azure, but that is out of scope for now. So I will share my screen, and these services that we are going to use today are free, so that you could also replicate them, and you could also upload it from your end, right? So I will share my screen. Okay, it's visible. So first we need to, what we'll do is we'll buy the domain, right? So we can go to GoDaddy or other services like that, but right now we are looking for free domain. So there's a site called Freenom. There are also a few other websites, but this is the most stable one, right? So I'll tell you there are like few free domains that are available. So there are domains like .tk, .ml, .ga, and other ones. Once we'll search for something, we'll also get that as suggestion, so you can see that. So this website is a little weird, but it's free, so we cannot complain. So we do not have sign up directly from here. So you can't go directly here and sign up. What we'll do is you land on this page, right? You search for the domain that you want. Say for example, test. So I just few minutes back I just tested that if it is working or not, because it's been a long time since I used free resources. So I already took testbootcamp.tk, so it won't be available. So see, as you can see, it is not available because I already took it and I have not signed in. So it is not available for taking the domain. So but we also have similar domains like which are free, which is .ml, .ga, .cf, .gq, right? So like these 5 are like the free ones. We can also have paid ones, but that's not of our use and it is out of scope for today's session. So let's try something. So since I have this, I'll write .ml. So it is available, right? So whatever domain you want, you add it, write .tk. If it is available, like .tk, .ml, whatever it is, if it is available, you will get it selected like this. Then you go to checkout. And due to streaming, or I don't know, my internet is slow, but it's taking a little bit time. Yeah, it's here. So you'll come to this screen. Here you have the domain name. We'll use these buttons afterwards. First, we'll select the period. So select this carefully. Till 12 months, all these domains are free. I mean, .tk, .ml, .ga, .cf, whatever it was. Like, which is pretty much right now. We do not care about SEO and all that stuff, right? We just want that our content is up there and the address is readable, right? We could also, yeah, quick note, we could also domain is not a required thing, right? We just need hosting to keep things up, right? If we take a hosting, we upload our files, right? If we upload our website, then that would be available online. But since that doesn't have a domain, so it would have a huge URL, right? So it is difficult to share it is difficult to tell to anyone. So it is better to take a domain. So you can go here and you can take 12 months and you can do continue. So I would suggest that you do Google sign in or sign in with Facebook here, because sometimes when you are signing up here with email, the mails are not coming. So you can do Google sign in here, and then you will pretty much sign up, and you will have a verification mail. I will show how. I won't click on this because I already have signed up. So as you can see, we will have a mail from Freenome just like this. Basic simple mail in which we'll have a link to click, and it will verify our account. So once you do that, you need to sign in. Go here and sign in. So I'll just go and sign in because I already have registered. Till now, I hope you guys are catching up and I'm not going fast at all. If I'm going fast or if I'm going over the board, just let me know in the chat. I have that open on the screen. Yeah, so we'll log in, right? Post login, we could go here, like we also have that from here, but that link is broken. We could go, it's visible, right? Yeah, it's visible. You can go here and you can click on my domains. So like few minutes back, I took this domain, right? Testbootcamp.tk, right? So just like that, whichever domain that you would have written, it would show in your account after you sign in. After you verify email and then you sign in, and then you go to my domains, you will have that domain because you already purchased. I mean, not purchased it, but like for free you purchased it. It's like that. So you have this domain now, and this domain is there for you for 12 months, right? So one job is done. So far so good, right? Is there any issues in that? So far, any doubts? Okay, I assume not. Okay, great. So our next stop is taking in a host. So the only host which I assume is available for free in this zoner, that is Linux shared hosting zoner. Otherwise, we have free tiers in AWS and in Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. But it's a little bit difficult to set up, and it could be a little bit overwhelming. So we'll not go into that for today. We'll go for 000 web host. And yeah, I need to admit that when I was in college and when we used to use this, at that time it was very different. Today it is very different. So we'll explore it together. So once you are here, you need to sign up, like free sign up. Add in your email and password. Then you will sign up and you will get a verification mail, something like this. I won't sign up because I already have. Okay, I think I have not shared my window. Oh, okay, yeah. So you will get a verification mail like this once you sign up over here, right? Post that, you'll get another, welcome mail, and these are all just, these mails are not important. So once you confirm that, you are good to go. You can go on and sign in. Here is the sign in button. Okay, so by the time it loads, I will tell you what the simple and basic process is. So there are two ways we could do it, but the most usual way that we do is in this type of ecosystem. We take what we know as name servers of a hosting, right? So we'll get that name servers and we'll plug that into the place or the account where we buy our domain, right? If in case we bought both our domain and hosting at the same place, say for example we bought the domain from GoDaddy and we are using GoDaddy's hosting itself, then we don't need to do that because internally it will manage, because internally it is already pointing to GoDaddy. So when we would go to bind the domain, it would already show in the drop down that okay, this is the domain that is already there in your account. But usually it's like कहीं से आपने domain लिया, कहीं से आपने hosting लिया. You buy domain and hosting from different places. So like you buy domain where it is cheaper and the hosting which is more convenient and more reliable, right? It is taking a lot of time. So what it will do is that name servers you added, it will be same. So if I signed up and if you signed up on 000 Webhost, the like name servers that we will get would be same for both of us. It would be something like, so for some sites it's like ns1.hostgator.in or ns1.bluehost.in. So HostGator, Bluehost are like one of the leading hosting providers in Linux shared hosting and that space. So it would be same for each and every one of us who will create, sign up, and if it is a paid one of even, that's a different story, but we'll have that hosting, the names will be the same, because internally what happens is, so for example you add testbootcamp.tk and we have binded it with our 000 Webhost with its name server, right? So what will happen? So let's go step by step. When you write in testbootcamp.tk and you press enter, it will go to the nearest DNS server and check for that domain, right? So from there it won't get actually that where exactly that files are located. For example, testbootcamp.tk/abc.html. So we don't know, it won't know where exactly on which IP or which designated place that file is located. But what it could know is, okay, this domain where it is registered. So it will check, okay, this is registered at Freenome. Okay, so what DNS will tell, okay, I don't know where this website is or where the files of this website is, but I know one thing, that is it is purchased from the domain registrar that is known as Freenome, and I know where that lives. So he will point it to DNS server of Freenome, of the domain registrar, right? So you will get to the domain registrar's DNS server. There again, basically it's a table, like it's a map, it's a like basically one-to-one mapping, this name, this IP or whatever thing. So it's a table stored. It's not a something fancy thing that you need to think about. It's a simple table. Domain name server, inside it's a simple table. So on the domain registrar side, it will check, okay, this domain is taken by it is our domain, but I also don't know where exactly the files is. What I know is, I know the name servers. that this is ns1.000webhost.com, right? Whatever it is, or it is ns1.bluehost.in. So that domain registrar will say that I don't know what is abcd.html. To domain is mine, but I don't know where the files are located physically. But I know it should be with this company, this hosting provider, that is Webhost, because we have that name server. So from there, we will redirect to the DNS or the domain name server of, or the table of host provider. So in our case, it would be say 000 webhost. So 000 webhost, again, it like will give him the domain name, and they will check that okay, this is redirected to us. So now I need to check in my accounts that which user has it and what are the files and where it is located. So from there, so that is the destination. So actually that is also not the destination. From there we will get that okay, this particular file abcd.html is located at 11.12.13.114/32:80, whatever the IP address is, /abcd.html. So from that place, from hostings, like host providers domain name server, ultimately we will get the physical address of where it is located. Right. I'll try to refresh this once again. In the meantime, I forgot one step. I just recalled. So when we write the address, it doesn't directly go to the, I mean, it goes to the nodal DNS server that is there, fine. But after that, once it doesn't get the actual physical address, what it does is it goes to the DNS server of the domain. So every domain that we have, say google.com or facebook.com or say testbootcamp.tk. So the last one, right? The last word, things after the last dot. So that is the TLD, that is basically top level domain or a country level domain. .com, .in, .tk, .us, .org, .net, whatever it is. So it is that is the domain type, right? So from the nodal DNS, it will go to the DNS table of that domain. That is, for example, if it is a .com, then there will be a table which will which will know that which .com domain is taken from which registrar. So I told you now that directly from the domain you will get the domain registrar, but no, there is a one domain name server between, which because it's a huge data, and so from our regional DNS it will go to the if it is .com, then it will be go to DNS of .com. If it is TK, then it will go DNS of TK and vice versa. From there it will get okay GoDaddy का है या Bluehost या HostGator का किसका है. So from there it will go to that DNS, I mean to that domain provider registrar, from there to the hosting, and from hosting to the actual place where it is hosted. So that is the somehow the process, right? Okay, so I think on signing in, you will land on this screen, right? So actually you will get a prompt. So I added this project. So once you will sign in, I mean once you verify, so they will give a small box for creating a project. So it would have a name, which is this, and a password, right? So after you add both of them, you will have this thing, and beneath there will be a link that would say that I already know all this, skip with the sign in and all that process. So it will skip and you will fall somewhere over here. It is very slow, but it is free hosting, so we cannot complain. Okay, so we have a small dashboard over here. So here we have website settings. In that we have general settings. So from here we'll get our FTP details. What is this and why we require it? I will tell you soon enough. So here in tools, we'll go inside the tools menu. In there we have 4 options. So we do not need emails right now, so we won't go into email manager. Why is it loading? Okay, so we won't go into email manager. Then we currently, it is static website. We do not have any backend language or we don't have any database. So we won't go into database manager as of now. File manager will go after setting up the website. So I will click on here, set web address. So it should be over here only. Okay, so it shows my domains, whichever domain we have. So we can either purchase a new domain over here, but we already have a domain, right? So we'll do connect a domain. So 2 things, I will briefly tell you what is this. So a point domain is basically will point to that domain. So that is fine, but that is the regular thing that we do. Park domain is basically, say for example, my right hand, it's a domain called abcd.com or shreyan.dev. And we'll take the initial example, shreyan.dev. This is the shreyan.dev. But .dev is not a very popular domain. So people might get confused and they might write shreyandev.com, right? Because laymen are used, like they were used to write .com after everything. So I found out that people are getting confused. So I bought another domain called shreyandev.com, right? So this is that domain. This is my shreyan.dev domain. This has all the files. I mean, this is connected to a host and it has all the files. A person who writes shreyan.dev will be pointed to the perfect files that it has, right? That is clear. Now, what is a park domain? So basically, this is shreyandev.com. I will park it on my this domain. So whoever, so this both are my domains. Whoever comes on this domain, that person, that visitor would be redirected to this original domain. And if the person comes directly on the original domain, then to obviously it will be over here only. So this parking domain would, like pointed towards the original domain. It's like how you park a car on a spot, right? There's a parking spot, there's a parking lot, right? And say, for example, you have been allocated slot number A15, randomly, anything. So you go there in the parking lot and you park a car over A15 spot, right? So the spot itself refers to A15 and the car is also on A15. So no matter you go for the car or you go for the spot, you'll go for the position, this space that is A15. I hope I'm clear. So we do not want a park domain, we want to point a domain. So again, it says that point your DNS to 000 web host, then add your custom domains here. So as I said, so what is that? That in where we purchase the domain, we need to add custom name servers, which is of 000 web host or basically our hosting. So from there, from that domain, it will point for any file to our hosting. So we'll do that. But right now, what we'll do is we'll add in our domain text testbootcamp.tk. Right. So as you can see here, the hosting, no matter which hosting you take, they will give you a temporary URL or a URL, not a temporary one. They will give you a big URL. So whatever we'll find over here, we'll find over here also. But why we need a domain, as we discussed, because this would be quite simpler to understand and to share. So we'll go ahead and we'll save it. Okay, so we need to point it to here first. So we'll come here, and this is a place where we purchase the domain. We'll go on managing the domain. Right. Here we have name servers, and here we have free domain DNS. We do not, we can go here and we can add in DNS records also. So just how it says that what is like this CNAME is a type of DNS record, right? Canonical name. We don't need to go into that. This is like, we'll do it as simple as possible. So here we'll go and name servers. We'll add in custom name servers, right? So here there are ways from where we could find the name servers, like somewhere in the site name server would be available, I'm sure, but I'm not sure where. So what we can do is we could just search for 000 webhost name servers. So these are the name servers. Because as I said, this is not unique to a user. It is not unique to Shreya Mehta's account. This name servers are unique to every account that web 000 webhost provides. So we'll change this name servers. Changes are saved. Right. So the way they say is different than what we do, right? What I did is the usual way that we go into the domain, like where we purchase the domain, we go there, we add in the name servers of our hosting, and in our hosting we'll go there and add the domain. So automatically in a time frame of 24 to 40, like less than 48 working hours, it will redirect, right? Usually it doesn't take time, like it gets updated in an hour only or in 2 hours, something like that, but it could take up to 48 hours for the domain name servers to redirect. But this Spark domain is different. Okay, so this Spark domain that they are referring here is different than what I told. What I told was that Spark domain is basically redirection. So this, what these guys are referring as Spark domain is that these are the name servers that we added there, and the domain will point to this hosting. Domain name has been parked. Now let's see what is there on this domain. See, now you can see it is working already. How? Because we took our domain from Freenom, right? And right now we have page of 000 webhost. So the files that are there on the hosting, it is already getting reflected on the domain. So basically, we have successfully tied up our domain and hosting. Like it was the simplest process ever. Just like we discussed many things, but what we essentially did is we signed up on a like domain provider, just like GoDaddy or somewhere else. We signed up on a hosting provider, right? We bought a domain there. We bought a hosting here. Took this name servers, added there. Job done on the domain registration part. Here we added the domain and it's done. It's like 4 clicks basically. Now we need to upload our website. So this job is done. So basically now we do not need to bother to come to Freenom because our job from domain registrar is done, at least for the task we have. So I'll close this one, right? And we'll go to File Manager. So here we are seeing whatever we are seeing, that must be an HTML, I mean a HTML file, a CSS, a JavaScript thing, because that is what gets rendered on the front end, right? Or might be some higher level JavaScript framework like Angular, React, something like that, whatever. But basically that compiles into HTML, CSS, JavaScript, basically whatever you have learned till now in the bootcamp. So we need to replace this with a HTML, CSS, say to-do app or whatever it is. Okay, it is taking some time. Okay, fine. So there are 2 ways we could go from here. We won't discuss about the TMP or the temp folder. Public HTML is the place where most files that is publicly accessible or the root files of the domain would be there. Okay, it was double click. So once you go inside that, here whatever files you will add, you can that would be the ones which would be visible, right? If you add an index.html with hello world, then it should be ideally visible. What we'll do is we'll just have a hello world and we'll check if it works or not. Is my Visual Studio Code visible? Okay, great. Okay. We'll create a simple HTML file. Right? If this works, then it's great. If it doesn't work, then we didn't did any much effort, so that's fine. Let's try if it accepts. Yeah, it accepts. Dropping. Did it got uploaded or not? Okay, here is it. As I told you, it's little buggy, but it's free, so that's fine. Now let's refresh this. Voila. So basically, your code is now up on a domain, and hosting is binded, domain is binded. We just created a hello world HTML page, and it is up. Simple. I hope it's simple, because if we have got till this much far, then I need to cover two more small things. So just let me know if whatever we did till now, you guys know, like, got to know what we did, and nothing went above your head. Is there any doubts or anything? I hope it was simple. Okay. Okay. So this was actually just like, we just had one page to upload. Now assume, like, usually in a project or in a website, we don't have one page to upload, we have bunch of files to upload, right? So for that, what you would assume is, you cannot just go and upload each and every file individually, right? That's not practically possible. So from here, there is one option that we could create a zip of it. Say for example, this is a free, like, HTML bootstrap theme that I just downloaded. It's a free null theme. So say for example, if I wanted to upload this, and it has, I think, few CSS files, few JavaScript files, and some other files as well. So yeah, it has around 10 files. Sorry, 5 folders and another mini files. So one way is you could just zip that and upload it and unzip it over here, right? We have, like, compress, and, like, we would have something here to unzip also, because we can't just go ahead and select files here. It's not feasible. So what's the solution for that? So solution for that is what we know as FTP, that is file transfer protocol. So one way is that you code up the thing, you create a code, you write the protocols, but no one does that because it's not needed. So we'll close this first because we don't need this. It checked out. So we'll use an FTP client. So there are many FTP clients for free that are available, but the most popular one is FileZilla that many people use. So we'll use that only. So here in website settings, in general, I think file, yeah, here it is. So host name, port, username, password. These are the four things we require to communicate to an FTP server. Basically, what it is from your PC using this client, you could directly push files on the server. You do not need to open this website and upload file each and every time, right? So for that we have for FTP clients. So this is FileZilla, one of the famous FTP clients, which is free. So there are many buttons you could see over here. Like you can see these buttons, you could see this menu, but you do not need to know any of them, at least for now. That are for like little bit intermediate and advanced purposes. You do not need to understand or you don't need to know that buttons at all. You only need to know four, like one simple thing. You'll get this four data over here, right? Or basically from any hosting provider. So host का data host में, port में, फिर username की जगह पे, and password. So here like whatever password is, right? So you will add these four things and you will connect and it will connect. So this is the host, copy, port is 21, username is and password is so we'll do is quick connect. So this certificate, we will ask for the certificate. So press OK. And you do not need to know whatever things we are getting over here. Okay, I think there's an issue in password. So yeah, you don't need to know all of this until it works. So right now it is not working because I think I added something wrong, either of the credential. Most probably it's the password. Oh yes, yes. What's the password? Okay, so it is not the account password, it is the website password. Okay, yeah. So there are two passwords, right? One was the password that you used to log in TripleZero Host, and the password is when you create a project. So you can have multiple projects. So in here, so what I was trying was the accounts password, which actually won't work because you have multiple projects. So we need to add in password of this project. So as you can see, it is now connected, and we are seeing the same directory that we used to see here in our file manager. Here we are seeing the same things, right? Now basically this would be the local PC, this would be the remote PC. So you can simply, what you can do is navigate wherever you want to go. You just Control C and Control A, Control C copy, and just simply drag into the public HTML folder. So just select all of this, Control A, and just drag and drop them. If you were not using FTP or an FTP client, then you would need to go every time, zip the code, upload it on the website, unzip it, then check it if it is right or wrong, and like it will be like that. This way, you could just directly do it from here itself. You don't need to zip it. You don't need to unzip it. You could override, write, whatever it is. Directly from here it happens. So it is very useful. By the time it happens, because it has 98 files in queue, I think we covered basic domain, basic hosting, and basic FTP. Now, since this all was, this is a free account, so I want to take the opportunity and show if you are using some Linux shared hosting of a paid account, so how it looks. And there's a GUI called cPanel. So I'll show how that cPanel looks and feels, right? You won't get that for AWS or all that for free because that's a different thing. This is a different thing. So I will show you one of my paid ones. By the time this gets complete, when it gets complete, it will show us a message in FileZilla notification, and we'll just refresh this and we'll get the same. I mean, we should get the same thing that we have over here, like something like this. This full theme, right? I will close this. Okay. Dikshita, is there anything else we need to cover in this, or I should just go ahead and show the paid one, paid cPanel that we decided?
Oh, nothing. We'll go ahead with the paid one.
Okay. So from where I went, that places is not necessary to show because that could be different for different hosting providers. So this is a cPanel, and it's for many free. Like there was a service called Hostinger, which used to provide for free, just as TripleZero Web Host, but the cPanel that it provides was very limited. This is the full version of that. So from here, what all you can do is, I'll just quickly go through them so that if at all, once in future, if you want to use that, for a paid project or whatever it is, then you can at least have a basic knowledge of it. So first section is of files. So the file manager is exactly the same that we had in TripleZero Web Host. The GUI is different, but it is essentially the same. And this is images. So for different images, we can directly add it over here. We could have that also in our regular resource, but it like I won't go into details, but it is more optimized. And this is directory privacy. So basically, what our access who all is having. This uses like these are just monitoring whatever we have. FTP accounts. So we connected this via an FTP, right? So we can have multiple FTP accounts on a paid one, not on the TripleZero Web Host one. But since we have a paid site and we have multiple users working in an organization, we can hand them over different FTP accounts. So this is for that, and this will show the connections. So this is all for FTP thing. Then these are for the backup ones. This is for Git, like VCS, just like Mercurial. We won't go into detail because I'm not sure if you had Git classes or not. So we won't go into detail of that. Then you have some sort of web accelerator. So this is what this is basically is. It shows website caching, right? So we know that website caching happens on front end, like whatever is your images, your JavaScript files, your HTMLs, they get cached on front side, but that's the front end caching. Here it refers to the server side caching. So if there are some pages, if there are some resources that you or basically the audience calls frequently, then if this is enabled, then that would be cached on server side so that the retrieval is fast. On a simpler words. Then this is the databases. We have the SQL databases. If you guys have not went through the backend, so we won't discuss into that, because it is not without backend we cannot access that. I mean we can, but we cannot. So this is for the domains. Like we can add domains over here, primary domain. Then we could add the add-on domains. The site. This is not important thing. Subdomain is basically what we write before the domain. Right. For example, the URL that you are watching right now is of the domain is google.com, but the subdomain is meet. So it's meet.google.com. So that's the subdomains. Then aliases are basically what I referred to in the earlier time as Spark domains. So basically alias is a like shreyandev.com, which will like refer to shreyan.dev. That's an alias. Redirects 301 and 302 HTTP redirects. What are they basically? That you add in some domain, some URL, and it redirects it to somewhere else, just like Bitly or Google Shortener, similar to that. Then this is the DNS zone editor. If you don't know DNS and you are new to it, don't touch it because you could mess up some DNS records. This section is for emails. So basically this hosting provides us free emails and much more other things. So like we could create email accounts, we could create for email forwarders, and email routing, autoresponders. Like if you mail on this one, then you'll get an auto reply, then mailing list, etc. I won't go into much details into that. This is matrix for our host, not required. SSL, SSH, not required right now, not required. So yeah, these things are also not required right now because you haven't done backend things. So cron jobs and all is not required right now. Yeah. Right. So it has many things, but you do not need to get overwhelmed for that, because once you start using it, you'll get to know like things one by one. Basic things about hosting was using FTP, correcting the domain, right? Uploading the files. That three basic things are the most important ones. In some other environments, say for example in AWS and in environments like that, what happens is you do not get this kind of cPanel. I mean, there are ways you could install that, purchase and install that, but usually people don't do that. So in that scenarios, what happens is you you bought a small instance, basically एक छोटा सा 8 GB का 8 GB RAM, 8 GB SSD और छोटा सा CPU, ऐसा छोटा सा एक वर्चुअल PC कहीं पे out there, somewhere out there, a small instance is created for you and you use that to host your website or some of your service or APIs or whatever. So what happens in that? What is the process in that? You need to do SSH via terminal, right? So basically black screen में आपको बैठ के SSH करना होगा. Here also we had SSH, which I skipped, right? You could also SSH over here, but due to cPanel, you don't require to do that because of simplicity. So in that, you need to do SSH. Then once you are inside that PC, basically using SSH, you can access to that PC, remote PC, and in that, you can install things that you want using curl or the things like you want to install a node package manager, you want to install PHP, whatever you want to install, you install that. The source code, what you can do is you can do git clone over there. So basically all the code, all the repo would be get cloned over there, and then you can do things from that. So it is a little bit difficult, or I mean not difficult, it could be a little bit overwhelming for you because you guys are just starting. So this is the basic of that. So this queue is over. So I believe that the local, so this was that local theme that we had, right? I believe if I refresh this page, I will have that theme over here. Yeah. Cool. So similarly, you can, so just like I uploaded this theme, similarly, instead of these folders, it would be your folders of your CSS, of your JavaScript, and files of your HTML. You can just select all, go inside the public HTML and just drop it here. Once the domain is binded and all, and it will perfectly redirect it and it will show all the code that you have done till now. So I think that's it. You can take some FAQs, Dikshita, if you want.
We're now open to questions. In case if y'all have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box, or y'all can directly ask it by unmuting yourself. So for those typing in the questions, y'all have 60 seconds. So please be quick and type in your questions. We are waiting for your questions here. Yes, questions. We are waiting. Y'all have 60 seconds. Please feel free to unmute. That's more fun than reading out the questions, I believe. Any doubts related to today's session or otherwise also related to this particular topic? No questions? Crystal clear?
My job's done.
No, I'm definitely expecting questions because they always do ask. I think I should wait for some time till they type. Pretty sure there would be at least a few. Questions. Okay, looks like there are no questions related to this particular session. That's really nice, which means that we've managed understanding everything.
Or nothing.
No, I believe it should be everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shreyan, for this amazing session.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to the attendees who have been a part of this particular bootcamp for how many days has it been? I can't even recollect It's day 8, but I'm not sure because we also had holidays in between, etc., etc. So thank you so much for being a part. Obviously, your projects, now coming to that part of it, those of you all who want to submit the project and get it reviewed, you have to create the project within 7 days, or maybe if you all want some extension, please type right away before I create the event on Meetup, because later on it becomes difficult for me to make the changes. You have to create the website, a portfolio one, or else if you wish to do something else, then feel free to go ahead doing that. Once the website is ready, I would be requesting the speakers to go through your website. So whichever section that they have taught you all. So in case somebody taught JavaScript, somebody taught CSS, whatever was taught to you all, those parts would be evaluated by those speakers. So every website is pretty much going to go through around 7 to 8 people viewing it, and you would receive feedback on your project. The top 2, which would be again chosen by the speakers, if they wish, they can go ahead with a mock interview, which would be scheduled on one of the Sundays, depending upon the mutual availability of the winner and the interviewer. Apart from that, thank you so much for joining in on all the days. Thanks to the girls who have joined in. A greater and a bigger thanks to the guys who actually join in Women Tech Makers events, because there are very few who would generally join, because if it's a GDG event, then girls and guys both join. But when it's a WTM event, there are few guys who actually come up and they don't hold any offense and they actually be a part of these programs. So we have a great amount of respect to you all. I hold an even higher amount of respect to those guys who have created a female account and have joined in to this particular session as a female. I think that's really funny. You guys could actually join from your original accounts and not be a girl here, because I definitely know, I have been tracking the attendees, I have been interacting with most of them, and I know whom I have managed interacting with and whom I have not managed interacting with. And even if it's a female account, it makes it very obvious that it's not a real one. But anyways, we truly appreciate you guys joining in. Shreyan is shocked. Shreyan is like, what just happened in the vote of thanks? What is she talking? We had that. I realized it a little later, but I did realize that there are a couple of guys who have joined in as females, and I was like, okay, what is this and why even? But I think whoever has attended, I'm grateful to everyone who's been a part of this particular journey so far. If you wish to have more boot camps, please let us know, and we will be very willing to host them. No. So there's a comment that's just by Santosh. It says, I'm really sorry if it was really meant for women. No, this is not meant for women only. It's just that it's created by women, and it's a program that was demanded by women. So it's curated in a way that the needs of women is kept in mind, and majority of the attendees are women. But we totally love having even the guys join in the session. But generally what happens is that when somebody sees the name Women Tech Makers, they feel that women ke liye hi hoga, and they don't come ahead and join. Which is why I laughed saying that it's good that guys are coming, and we are very welcoming. So those who have actually joined from a real account, it is very nice. There are some boys who have created a fake account and have joined with a girl's name. तो लड़की का account है, लेकिन पीछे screen के लड़का बैठा है. So this comment I passed for them, because I realized it just 2 days back, and which is why I decided that I would say it कि next time आप अपने real account, जो आपका लड़कों का account है, उससे आप join कर सकते हो ये session. So that is what I wish to say. Those who are guys and have joined from the real account, really grateful to you guys for joining in like this. It provides certain amount of support, and you guys are the real allies for this particular program. You all have been asking really good questions, which is very important. So when you ask question, even the other people also join in and ask questions. Some of the girls have been very interactive throughout the programs. So I am grateful to those girls as well who have been asking. For me, for the purpose of learning, for me, there is no limit, there's no boundary like location, time, etc. Definitely, sir, there's no boundary at all, and there shouldn't be. It should be everyone coming together for the love of technology. So we're very grateful for people like you who think so open-mindedly and have been a part of this particular program. If there is any doubts related to the project, please drop in the chat box right now. You all can definitely ask those questions in the WhatsApp group. No worries at all. But I would prefer to answer it like this. It makes it easier for me to just communicate rather than type it on a chat on WhatsApp later on. That too, if at all the explanation is a lengthier one. So I would prefer to answer questions here. To all the speakers that you all have listened to so far, if you all wish to follow their work and if someone has really inspired you, please go ahead following them on Twitter. That is your way of showing love and appreciation for the session that they have taken their time off after their work from home, etc. And they do it all completely free. So a good gesture would be to appreciate them on social media. So if you ever enjoy a session, or if you have this one or the previous ones, whatever it is, feel free to drop in a tweet by tagging them so that their target audience sees these particular things. So thank you so much. I hope there are no questions because I can't see any. With that, I think I would like to wrap up the bootcamp. I would share the RSVP for the project submission meetup really soon. Tonight at 9 o'clock from our Instagram handle, we are going live with GDG Kolkata. We would be connected with GDE Sayak Paul, and recently we had TensorFlow India Summit, TensorFlow User Group India Summit. So we would have a discussion around what are the new things to expect in TensorFlow, and what the entire process of hosting a virtual conference is like, and what are the ups and downs, etc., etc. So the discussion would be all around that. There isn't any technical teaching that is happening because Instagram, and we don't want to teach anything at 9 o'clock. We wanted like a fireside chat, which is still technical but really chilled out and fun. So if you all are free, and if you all haven't really followed us on Instagram as yet, make sure that you all do follow us there. And we would be live tonight at 9 p.m. We plan to extend this like a series on every Friday called as Fireside Chats on Fridays. However, we're not very sure about it. I have done complete course in Pune for 90 days for 8 hours per day. I could not learn, but what I have learned in last 8 days, I'm really happy for that. Thank you so much for that feedback, Santosh sir. That means a lot, and we're grateful for the amazing speakers that have joined us throughout this program, who have made this entire session so easily consumable. We had requested them to all of them code at a very higher level, and the sessions had to be curated at a very basic level. So even while communicating with them, we had to constantly request them that please drop down to the extreme beginner level as much as possible. And they have been kind enough to do it. They have been kind to not use the technical terminology. And even in today's session, you might have seen Shreyan said, in layman's language, this is what it means. This is how it is. So everything was made very beginner friendly, and yes, we did keep that in mind, and I'm happy that it has served the purpose, because once what I personally believe is once the basics are clear, then it is easy to watch online videos, online tutorials, and start learning on your own. But the first thing of knowing the words is very important. So that was what I was particularly focusing on in this particular program. Vaishnavi has asked, please do share this recording on WhatsApp group, had network issues in between. Yes, Vaishnavi, we would definitely share this particular recording. Even I had a little network fluctuation in middle, but thankfully there have been 2-3 recordings. So we will take some time to edit. So we would be properly editing it from sometimes the speaker, sometimes the screen. So we're taking all three recordings, hybriding it, and then putting it up on Instagram. So that processing and that editing can take some time, although the digital team is really efficient, and I'm very sure that Vaishnav is going to do an excellent work when it comes to editing this particular session and putting it up well on the internet. For getting good speakers spending their valuable time and knowledge. Special thanks to Diksha. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. That really means a lot to us. Thanks a lot. It's not just been me; it's been the entire GDG team. So there has been a lot of work put up by the digital team, especially now that the events have gone online. Vaishnav has to work really hard. So he doesn't come on screen, but off the screen, he really works hard with his entire team. So there are different people who are making the posters every day. There's a different group of people who are handling the social media. There's a different group of people who would take these videos, edit it. And then Vaishnav is constantly communicating it all with everybody because the work is allocated to different people. So as far as the events right now is concerned, I would be really selfish if I take the credit, because a lot of the work in terms of the digital stuff is definitely being done by Vaishnav. Further, not to forget, there have been some people who have really supported this, like people from the GDG Goa team. Pranav Naik has been attending every day. There is Bhargavi, there is Suyan, Stella, Vaishnav, and Lisa, Darshan, Kalandar. So these people have joined in the session here and there, and they have contributed in their own ways throughout. So I wish to share the credit with them too, and not steal it entirely. So that is my vote of thanks, which ended up going way too long. Ninad is asking, where can we get in touch with you about the future boot camps? Most of y'all are part of the WhatsApp group, so y'all can directly there you would find my contact number. You can WhatsApp me directly. If you don't wish to connect on WhatsApp, you can also connect with me on any of the social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you prefer. Or best even, if you have RSVP'd this meetup, you would see that the meetup leaderboard has me as the organizer. If you click on my photo, you would be able to send me a direct message even on meetup. So that way you can also request more boot camps. It's not even important that you request a boot camp. That's just something we tried here for the first time and for the second time, and first time virtually, definitely. You can also request for some event or anything, a hackathon or Hacktoberfest. I can see an amazing t-shirt there. So information related to that.
It's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's the season for Hacktoberfest, and it's going to be so much fun. We're actually planning one session on that too. On 27th September is what we're looking at, collaborating with GDG Pune, but it's still under process, so we are still thinking it out and planning. So yes, please let us know whatever it is that you all are interested in, and we would be more than happy to organize it. Yeah, that is it for now. I believe there are no questions related to the session because I can't see any. For the kind words that I've received in the chat box, thank you so much. That actually means a lot. And yes, thank you so much for joining the bootcamp. I hope to stay connected, and I would soon share the RSVP for the project, etc. So yes, all the very best. I hope that you all have some really amazing portfolio websites coming, and that's it. Let's call it a bootcamp and wrap it here. Thank you so much. Have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.